Okay, so we will unmute everyone, but if you have any questions, mute everyone, sorry. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. You can unmute yourself, or you can write in the chat box, or through the translator's line you can ask questions. And please ask. Okay, so welcome to the Breaking Out of the Prison of Abuse intro Zoom call. Thank you for joining us tonight. Yeah.
Cool. So, she's Csilla.
I'm Csilla, this is Rocco.
And we are so grateful for all the translators participating and contributing to this call.
Thank you so much.
Making it available for all the people around the world to join us. And what contribution can we all be to get rid of the abuse from the world, get rid of abuse from our life, from our body?
And I know I think Katarzyna in Poland, they've got a bar swap tonight. And how much contribution can it be? Wow, during this call.
All of us just saying hello.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello to all.
Yeah, hi, I will show you.
Hello.
Wow, amazing. How much contribution can it be?
Wow.
Every week. How does it get any better than this?
Yes, how does it get any better than this?
Thank you so much. So let's start.
Yeah.
So first thing is just to clarify what is abuse, because in most places or in most people's mind, abuse is sexual abuse or physical abuse. Though there are many, many different ways how abuse can show up. And basically, abuse is anything that is, let's say, done to you in order to make you less, in order to stop you from being you. Abuse is done to you in order to control you because you are too much or you are not doing what they want you to do. It's very simple. And it happens in many different levels. So where there are places where it's really excessive and people are bullied and they are bullying others, it's really, really can be visible. And it also can happen in a way that is very, very sort of silent or
not that visible.
Not that visible, because everyone. Is there a question?
No.
Just so everyone really has their own limit or their own borders, and beyond that level, they say, "Okay, this is abuse. We need to stop here. It's not working." But the same thing, they allow it if that doesn't go through that border, if it doesn't goes beyond that. So for example, and it's in our society, the different levels of abuse is accepted.
They say that's part of life.
This is the sentence.
It's okay.
This is part of life. So for example, when you go to work and your boss tells you that, you work from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and the boss tells you that you really need to stay longer. You need to stay as long as I'm staying in the office. Otherwise, you will not get promotion. It's really expected from you to stay as long as I'm or longer. But of course, there is no extra pay for that. And everyone says nowadays it's normal to work 10, 12 hours a day in an office because this is now the reality. Now we are in a fast-paced world, and if you really want to create more, you have to spend more hours in your office.
Oh. How does it get any better than this?
So it's a really beautiful way how they tell you that they don't care about you.
But you
they don't want to pay more for you.
But you have to do what they want.
Yeah. And if you don't want to do it,
you can find another workplace. Sorry.
You will be punished. You will be ignored. So this is one way of abuse, and it's accepted by everyone. Everyone says it's okay, it's normal. It's part of life.
Part of life. I have to work really hard in order to keep my job and get my payment, get my salary, get my bonus or whatever.
You always have to, do everything that the boss says, the way the boss says, and it doesn't really matter that you don't have your own life anymore. And this is just one example. And the same thing happens in the school. The same thing happens in families. The same thing happens with friends.
So they programmed us since we were a child. So we bring this program with us and we think that's normal. Yeah, it's okay. That's life. That's how it works. But what if you can change it? What if you don't have to do this? What if you don't have to fit in this reality?
What if somewhere we need to stop this and start a new way of thinking? Really just looking at it, what's going on, what's happening here. We just really need information to realize what is abuse and does it work for you if you are abused. And as you mentioned, there are many forms of abuse where you are abused, but there is another one where you abuse yourself, which is self-abuse.
That's the biggest one.
In other words, self-judgment.
But why do you judge ourselves? Because we want to fit in the reality, because of the projections from others, because they said we did something wrong, that this is their points of view. So is it really yours? And actually, you are aware of others' judgment as well, others' self-judgment. So when you judge yourself, is it truly yours? So what if the neighbor has something problem with herself or himself, and you take it as yours because you are aware of it? How many times did we judge ourselves based on someone else's judgment? I mean, you pick it up.
So does it work for you? But the thing is, there is this question, who does this belong to? It really shows that we are like psychic SpongeBobs. We're really aware of other people's feelings, thoughts, emotions, and take it over. And the thing is, how many times do you think something about yourself that's not even your thought? How many times do you feel something about your body that's not even about your own body? How many times do you have any emotion regarding yourself as a self-judgment that's not even yours? And how many times do you judge others that's not even yours? How many projections do you have towards others or towards yourself that's not even yours? So there is this other area of abuse where we live in an abusive environment, because everywhere there is this level of abuse that is normally, generally accepted. And we feel it's normal, and we also do that this way, and in many ways. So what would it take to get out of the prison of abuse? Because what abuse does, let's say when you live in a family where there is lots of abuse, we slowly look it into the body, into our energetic systems, into the physical body, and we start to vibrate that all the time. So it's all the time with us, as our body is with us all the time. And we start to look at the world, and we start to function from that space all the time. So it's like you would like to get out of the abuse, but you already have it in your body. And sometimes we have it from previous lifetimes, from many, many lifetimes, and it's everywhere. But does it really work for you? And what can we do to get out of the prison of abuse again? So all the points of view about what is abuse and what is not abuse. And everywhere where you judge yourself that you are an abusive person, do you now destroy and uncreate all that for all eternity? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And what else is possible beyond abuse?
What else is possible beyond this reality?
What can we create beyond this reality? What life can we create? beyond this reality. So what life would it be in the whole earth if we start to have no abuse in our own life? What invitation could we be to other people if we start to have no abuse in our body? What changes would you have in your life, in your daily life, if you had no abuse in your body?
How much can your body change if there is no abuse in your body? How much can it release?
So one of the things with abuse, so abuse is a way of controlling you. So for example, when I want you to do something, I start to abuse you, because what happens when you are abused, your infinite being, your whole reality is shrinked. It's solidified, it's contracted into very small. So because abuse is a way of being attacked. When someone is abusing you, they want to control you, and they give you a message that you are not good, you are not doing what they want you to do, and it's not going to work in the future if you keep doing this. And suddenly you see yourself as wrong, and you don't know what to do, because somewhere you sense it's not right, it's not true at all, but also you have the need to fit into the box. Because in many, many lifetimes we bought into and we learned that without the help of others, we cannot survive. And maybe there were lifetimes when we were living in a tribe. It was like, yes, you really needed to fit into the box, or to have a leader and follow a leader. But what happens, you can't really, but it doesn't really apply anymore. It applied in those lifetimes, but it doesn't really apply anymore. So, do we have any questions now?
Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
Can I ask?
Yes, please.
Okay. So if I see that somebody was abused and is functioning from the state of this abuse, like going through some kind of pattern, or the way like when somebody else teach him or her, or tell this person how to behave to be proper. What can I do as a conscious friend? How to, can you hear me? How can I, you can,
yeah, it's very hard to hear what you say.
Can you say it with?
Now it's better?
Yes, it sounds better.
Okay. So I am facilitator.
Yes.
And I'm working with abuse a lot, but sometimes I see people and they are not asking about to be facilitated by me, but I can see that they are functioning from abuse. Like somebody teach them, told them, train them into being something, but not them, not the true being of them. Mm-hmm. How can I help without facilitation? Because they didn't ask. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a really cool question.
It's an amazing question. Thank you. So that's the thing, that people live in an abusive environment, and they themselves as well, many times they function from abuse, because we all think it's not abuse. It's only sexual or physical abuse is abuse. When you hit someone, or when you rape someone, or these things are abusive. Or when you shout very loud with someone, that's abusive. But what I mentioned before, that there are lower levels of abuse that is accepted, wide range in the world. The thing is, what we all can do is one thing. If the information in your reality shows up that what is really abuse, that abuse is when you do something to someone else that is holding them back from being themselves. And the information is like a virus. It starts to spread. It starts to change the reality because people start to see it, that, oh hell, this is abuse. And they start to see, so people really need the information in order to change it. As long as everyone thinks there is a normal or acceptable level of abuse,
that's part of life.
Because it's part of life.
Because
this is,
we learned it.
As long as they do not have information about what they do when they are abusive, or what is done to them when they are abused, and what are the forms of abuse, they really can't do anything against it. So first, people really need information in order to change their life. So that's the other thing. Everywhere in the world, it's easier to control people. It's easier to control your child. It's easier to control your friends, the people in your group, if you don't give them information. Because information is power. If you are the only one who has the information, you can tell false things to everyone. You can create new habits, or you can create new policies, or tell new rules to the people, and you say, this is right, this is how you have to live your life, and this is going to happen from now on. So the first thing is informing people about what is abuse, what is abusive, and what happens to them when they are abused, or what they do to others when they abuse others. So the very basic thing is, when you do abuse, you want the other person to do what you want them to do. Not thinking about what would work for them.
Or what creates more,
but really just forcing something on them. And the amazing thing, as there are so many facilitators are here or present in this call, that when you have this information in your reality, the people who are coming to you, they start to receive that information, whether you talk about it or not.
You can be a great invitation for them, and they can start to change.
Because everyone is looking for a place, for a space where there is no abuse, because abuse creates contraction, but the nature of the infinite being is expansion. And anytime when you have abuse, or when you suffer from abuse, you are contracted.
Yeah.
So
we had a client, and she had lots of any different kind of abuse, and she's
verbal, emotional,
physical, all types of. And she came for a bars training, and she really loved it. And after she came back for a treatment, every week, once or twice, she came back, and we started with silent. Because she just wanted to be in the space and
where she's received.
And she said, oh my gosh, that's the first time I feel safe. So she just needed a space silently, and she received a lot. And after we started the session with her, and her life changed dynamically, really, within a couple of months, totally changed. So what if sometimes a space you can provide, it's a huge contribution for people.
A space where you can receive the other person.
Yeah, where you receive the other person.
Where they feel received, finally. Because most people been never received. When you judge someone, you don't receive the person. And we are always judged, because that's the program.
Someone always judge us.
That's the program from the very beginning. I judge you in order to make you a better person, because I give you a judgment that tells you what's wrong with you so you can improve it.
That's the biggest lie ever. I want you to be a better person. Fuck. I'm already a great person. Why do you want me be better? I can change if I want,
So that's the thing, that that's a beautiful program. I will judge you, and that's a help. This is a way of helping you. I tell you all the bad things about you,
And that's kind of part of life. We get used to it. It happens everywhere, in your workplace, in with your friends, in the family. Oh, I just want to help you. That's why I tell this. I don't need help. I didn't ask for that. What else is possible with that?
Cool. So there are a few questions.
Rocco, can I ask a question for Serpil?
Yes.
Yeah, her question is how she can get the abuse out of her body.
Okay, cool.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So there are many forms how you can get the abuse out of the body. One is that one of the part of it is really realizing what is abuse and realizing the different forms of abuse and how we bought into its normal and how we maintain it in our reality. And there is an amazing call made by Gary Douglas many years ago. It's the abuse clearing call.
The original.
It's called the original abuse clearing call. When we send out the recording of this event, we will send out the link.
You can purchase it on Access website. It's like $35 US. It's not so expensive, and it's
2.5 hours, and it's really an amazing clearing. So this is sort of like a starting point to give you information and allow you to clear the different forms of abuse.
And I think this is just in English, but
I think it's translated to some languages, maybe.
I don't know, but don't worry if you don't understand, because it works. It energetically works. When I started to listen at the first time, I didn't understand anything really. But it worked, and lots of stuff came out. And I don't know how many times I started to hear the words. It's so interesting. Yeah. But this is just for me,
It shows up differently for everyone.
Yeah.
So this is one way that start to help you. And there is a second one, which is called the abuse hold session. This is a session where the facilitator holds the body of the client, like cuddles the client in a very gentle way, and the body of the facilitator has this energy of the abuse hold to release the abuse from the body of the client. So that's another one, which is like a 30-minute or a 1-hour session.
It depends.
It depends on each
but
situation.
This abuse clearing CD is the prerequisite for the abuse hold session. You have to listen it at least 20 times or 30. It depends.
Cool. And there is another thing. We are holding an abuse clearing class called the Breaking Out of the Prison of Abuse with special approval from Gary Douglas. This is a 2.5-day class. And what we do during this class, we give information about the different areas of abuse, what is abuse, all the different forms of abuse. And we do lots of clearing and live facilitation for the people participating in this live class. So this is only a live class, no online. And also there is an energetic body process that we do during the class that each person can learn. And we do a swap. And actually it's a swap all day long, many times, as many times you all wish. So during the 2.5 days, you can do this swap many times with each other.
Anytime you wish, yeah.
And so you learn it, and if you need, you can run it later on yourself to release the energy of abuse from the body. But it's not just from the body, but from the being, from the whole universe of your being. And also to release it, so from the body, from the being. And also you can use this body process on your clients and help them to clear the abuse from their bodies.
This is a special body processes. It's not in the 3 days manual, 3 days body process manual, and
it is special to this class. So yeah, these are the different forms how you can help your body or help someone else's body to get out of the abuse, or allow them to release the abuse. I think there is another question. So I think Bibi...
Rocco and Sheila.
I have.
Sorry. Okay.
I have one. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have one actually anonymous question just for me here in chat privately. One person is having problem with certified facilitator. The person feels abused by certified facilitator, like the facilitator doesn't follow agreement and telling publicly different things than like behind, and probably publicly blaming for doing this other people. Mm-hmm. So what can help with this situation?
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah.
Cool.
Actually, it happens a lot.
So the funny thing in Access, just because someone is in Access consciousness, it doesn't mean the person is fully conscious.
And
it doesn't mean they function from the space of consciousness.
And it doesn't matter what is your title. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But what else is possible with this? Yeah, we heard lots of similar stories in Access, but
even there were facilitators who were rejected, or their facilitator certificate was removed or cancelled because of abusive situation. So in Access, what works that if you see this, you can report it. I think there is like info or maybe customer service or customer support at accessconsciousness.com.
Yeah, report it please, because it's a great contribution, because Access not about this. Yeah. It's totally different.
And if more reports the same, then a change can happen. This is how it works.
But what can you do with this?
Personally,
how can you handle this situation?
So one of the things is about abuse that we think, so it's a big part of it is judgment. And we learned so many times that we need to accept judgment, like judgment is something that telling us what's wrong about us, and then we can fix it, which is not really true. So judgment has nothing to do with you. When someone judges you, it has nothing to do with you.
It's always the other's points of view.
Yeah.
It's not about you.
And it creates a contraction in your body and in your reality. So you will sense contracted when judgment is given to you. So the question is that what can you do in this time? So one of the things, it's a really cool exercise. It's about receiving judgment. So what are the ways to receive judgment in order to have ease in your life? So when we are judged, we have a reaction to it many times that we pull up our barriers. We have a reaction to create a shield, because you sense it's not right.
And you learned you have to protect yourself, so that's why you build walls around you.
But it doesn't really help too much. So what you can do is really start to receive the judgment. So anytime when you are judged, just lower the barriers and receive the judgment.
It's not logical.
It's not logical, yes.
But it works very well.
It starts to create the ease in your body and in your whole world. And it's just working amazingly.
And and it creates more for you.
And this is one of the exercises that we do a lot during the class. What is really receiving judgment? Because
what is receiving?
What is receiving you?
How to receive, yourself, how to receive judgments, and how to receive everything,
So what change is possible for you when you start to receive yourself? When you start to see yourself as not wrong anymore,
but as a valuable product,
When you start to really value yourself and see how amazing you are. Cool. Thank you for the question.
And Iram had a question as well, right?
French
I kind of take my answer.
Okay. Okay, cool. So Veronique.
Oh, great. So someone is asking first the dates for the Paris class for the abuse, if you can.
Yeah. So it will be in January, the 10th, 11th, and 12th of January. It will be in Paris.
And we will post out the dates after this call as well.
And also we have one date for the next year as well in May in Vienna. It will be on the 24th, 25th, and 22nd of May next year. And see what else. Yeah, Sophie will be the translator for that. And let's see what else is possible.
So at this moment we have these two languages, like we hold the class in English and it will be translated in Paris to French. And in Austria it will be translated.
But if you have more people in different countries, we can provide translation.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else is possible with this?
And the other question was, when you do something you actually don't like to do, you feel forced to do.
Yeah.
Is this abuse?
So when I do something that
I don't like to do it.
You do something that you don't like to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel enforced, to do it. It's like obligation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like obligation, you feel you have to do, but you don't like to do it at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Is it abuse?
Thank you.
It's a good question. Really great question.
So from the very beginning, we learned that there are people around us who want something good, something better, something greater for us. And these people will tell us what to do. And what they say, that is right. What we do, that is wrong. And as long as we think this, we feel that we have to do what they tell us to do.
Or you have to do, but you don't like to do it.
Of
You don't want to do that at all.
Because you have a different reality. So you do something because you know why you want to do it, but they force you, they tell you what you have to do. So it's a way of abuse, it's a way of controlling you. So actually, the topic of abuse is far bigger than just sexual or physical abuse. It's really everywhere in our life, we are abused by all different types of people, different types of
situations.
And there are many places where we are abused, really, where we think it's normal. And what you can really do, because people go into the wrongness that, oh, I'm wrong, and
I did something wrong.
And also, I don't know what's right, but they know what is right. And really, there is one thing here to consider, to ask the question, like, truth, if I keep doing what I'm doing now, does it create more? Does it create more for me and for the world? So it's not about that anything that other people say is wrong and you are right. It's about functioning from the question. And also, it's not right what they say, and also you're not wrong. But the first thing to start to see is, when I keep doing what I'm doing now, am I functioning from a question? If I keep doing this, does it create more for me and for the world? So it really helps you to have clarity about what you are doing and what creates more. Need to be in the question in order to see what's going on at the moment.
And when did you bought into you are wrong?
How many times did you
How
buy
many
it?
times did you buy into you are wrong?
How many times you were told that you are wrong?
So everything that brings up, would you destroy and uncreate all of that?
Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And that you need to be fixed. You are not right, you are wrong, and you need to be fixed. And there is someone who can tell you what's wrong about you and how to fix you. And everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate all that?
Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
So I first tell in English, then I am translating.
Okay, thank you.
So you're welcome. So my question is, like, when somebody like says something that maybe contributes you, but when they say it's like a different way, like a wrongness of you, and you are aware of it, and you also aware maybe they are saying is right, and you just kind of like go like this and this and never know what is true, and then you come home and just thinking about what is that, so how can we change it?
Thank you. Okay, just wait a moment for her to translate. Cool. Cool. So this is where asking the question or being in the question, like which part of this is a lie,
and which part is, you know, which one was true, and which is the spoken or unspoken lie here. Because if you feel frustrated or anger, or you know, something is there, something is not right about this.
So one thing is what are the words, and another thing is the energy behind. And it's really important to see this. So what's the energy behind it? So people can say something that you don't like verbally, someone could say, oh, it was not put right, how they use the words, but energetically it was proper. And the other way around as well. Someone can say a very nice sentence, but energetically they are stabbing you in the back.
You know.
So it's like the capacity to read between the lines. It's the capacity and the willingness to receive the energetic information behind the words, to know that what is the space that this person is functioning from.
And what is the true, what is working for me, so I can receive, I mean, I can receive all of that, but have clarity about it. What is the lie in here?
Yeah.
So when you lower the barriers and start to receive everything, you will have the information and the clarity, and you will know what is behind this. What was the lie?
Yeah, what's the space that the person is functioning from?
And after it's not significant anymore for you. It's not sticky. It won't be in your reality anymore. You will have ease with that.
So that's one of the things which is really, really can help. Asking a question and the willingness to receive the information the way it shows up. And also during the class, we will do lots of exercises with the people to help them to really use this tool. Because once you start to receive and you know how to receive, your whole life will change.
Yeah, totally.
Because without that tool, it's really about what the fuck is going on. Like people are doing this lying to you or doing very, very strange and silly things, and you are just, what's going on? I have no idea. So yeah, it's really fun after that. It's really huge fun.
Actually, people can change around you as well. You can be a really huge invitation. That happened with my family, actually. My father was really abusive all the time when I was a child. It wasn't a happy childhood. And Yeah, we didn't speak for 20 years, if it tells something, yeah. So that was our relationship. But I started to, look more deeper, started to work on myself, but after...
Because she knew she's wrong.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But since Access, the whole thing totally changed. And and I started to work with the abuse, not with the family, only for me. I cleared out my points of views. I did lots of body processes, lots of abuse hold sessions, and I felt much, much better. And this summer, we went home to Hungary again, Europe, and my father changed a lot.
Yeah,
he was so much caring and
kind and looking after us. And
I totally changed. And oh my gosh, this is you? This is a different person. And I was very happy. And how does it get any better than this?
It is so amazing.
It was so amazing. I didn't work for them. I worked for me. But if I change my reality, it can be a huge invitation for others as well. And they can change
if they choose. But luckily, there are people who are willing to choose.
Yeah, they were willing to change. They were willing to change.
And that's really cool.
So what invitation can you be?
To your family, and not just your family, your colleagues, the people around you, everyone around you. Because everyone is looking for that spaciousness that you can have if you start to clear out the abuse from your body, from your reality. People are looking for this. They just don't know what is that. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to start. But it's a space where they feel received, where they feel safe. And that allows everyone else to start to be themselves. So when you have no abuse and that allows you to be you, and invites others to have no abuse and become themselves.
What can you create in the whole world? What if we can stop abuse? What if it starts with you?
And actually, when you are abused, you function from a limited space, you function from a contracted space. And from that space, you create more abuse. You create more stupid things, more unconsciousness. So actually, clearing out of the abuse is one of the amazing ways to sort of enlighten the whole world. It's a big invitation. It gives you the space to function from consciousness after that. And it invites others to consciousness as well.
What can we change? What reality can we create? What if we don't have to fit in this reality? What if it was one of the biggest abuse? They wanted to put you in this box, in this reality.
In a reality that they thought that they wanted you to be in.
Yeah, because they thought it's good. But what if it's not good at all? We already know it. What if you can create your own reality and it's not a separation, but it's a huge invitation?
And just one more thing about abuse, because we all learned it and we bought into it's normal. So when someone does abuse to you, it doesn't mean that they are not caring or they are really a mean people. It just means
they just learned how to do this.
This is the only way what they learned, to be around other people.
But we can show different possibilities for them, and it's up to them if they choose it or not. But if if people knows more about it, if they have more information, more clarity, they
see it works,
they can choose differently.
It's a huge, huge invitation.
So what else is possible beyond this reality?
Yeah. Anyone has a question now?
Can I ask right now?
Yes.
Yes, please.
So I feel a little bit trapped in a circle. Like I don't need to judge myself anymore. Otherwise, I'm going to abuse myself. When I'm kind of forcing my children to go to school, I feel that I'm doing kind of this normal abuse. So how can I get out with my thoughts about not feeling abusive to my children when I'm forcing them to go to a place where they don't want to go?
So the first, thank you so much for the question. Thank you. So one of the things is, what's the space that we are functioning from when we sort of trying to control someone? What's the space I'm functioning from when I'm doing this? And just consider that. So a lot of information can come up to the surface. Why? So for example, first question, does it create more for them if they go to school?
Or is there any other solution or possibility here? You don't need to know now. What is that?
So one thing can be, you know, like, who the hell wants to go to school? Because that's a place where they want to push you into a box.
Yeah.
And they judge you 24/7. But also you can meet friends. But what other solution exists that give them?
I can do it from a space of being in a question. Yeah. And I just ask every day if it contributes more to them.
Yes. So what other possibilities are there? You know, one example is that the school, that particular school where they go, the teachers are not really good.
Or maybe if I move them to a different school, maybe it's a greater contribution. Be in the question and ask all the schools which one is the greatest contribution for them. Or maybe home school, or other possibilities. You know, if you're asking questions, the possibilities are
revealing
coming.
themselves.
It will show up something greater for you, of course.
Yeah, and I'm just realizing that a lot of it is the PSGRs. What it I don't find in the five words right now, or the projection I have about school that I'm using right at this moment when I'm thinking about it. They're forced to the school. There's lots of more. There is not just a good or bad way to go to school. There's lots more work that can be done to make it not that abusive.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And actually, how many of these projections are not even yours, but other parents' projections? So just imagine that there are other parents around you and their children are suffering, but maybe they are in a different school where the situation is really bad. And maybe your children are in a good school.
So it's not a problem for my children, but for other children or the teachers or whatever, I can just perceive so much more. Yeah. Okay. There is so much. Now there's space again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, do we have
another question? Somebody's asking when somebody brings you a child for a session, you know, bar session, and the child doesn't want to do it.
A what?
A bar session.
The kid is actually not willing to do the session, and the parent is bringing the child. So the practitioner is asking, am I abusing the child as much as the parent is doing if I do the session on the child?
Yeah, what is your awareness?
Yeah, what's your awareness? You know, Gary said, you know, if you are in an expo, you do the session for kids if the kids are asking for that. If the parents are asking for the session, you have to charge it double because they want to be facilitated through the kids. Yeah. So what's your awareness? What do you know? And actually you can say no as well if that creates more in this situation.
It's really an amazing tool if you start to function from questioning in every time and be in the question, what else can I do? What else is possible? What can I create here that will create more? What contribution can I be to the world? Yeah, and it will show you millions of different ways that you can do in that very moment in that particular situation.
Or, you know, and which way can I be the contribution for this child? If it's already there and, you know, it's a paying session, okay, what else can I contribute? Is there another question, Veronique?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, always ask questions. Be in the question all the time. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. And do we have another question?
Here is one more question from the Czech Republic.
Okay.
Please.
Are there any prerequisites for taking that course of breaking out of the prison of abuse?
No prerequisite for this class. We wanted to keep it open for everyone who is looking for solution or, you know, other possibilities and would like to change their life and getting out of this prison of abuse.
So one of the things that we didn't talk about, when you are abused, and it doesn't really matter if that's big abuse or small abuse, we are all abused in many ways. So as I mentioned, abuse creates, it solidifies you, it contracts you, it contracts the space that you are functioning from. So what it does in people's life when they are abused, they are functioning from a contracted space, and it shows up as a contraction in their financial reality. It's a contraction with their body. So when you look in abuse into your body, you start to have various diseases, symptoms, and functional decline in the body. Also, you start to function from a contracted space, so you cannot receive. Your capacity to receive is very, very limited when you are abused. So what it does, you cannot have the financial reality that you desire to have. You cannot have the lifestyle that you desire to have. You cannot have the relationships that you desire to have. You cannot have the health that you desire to have. Abuse is limiting you as an infinite being and limiting your life in all areas of your life. So it's not just for those who've been sexually or physically abused, but all of us are abused in many ways that is limiting our capacity to receive, and as it limits that, it limits our capacity to choose. So it really limits you to be the infinite being that you truly be. It limits you to function as an infinite being, to create your life as an infinite being. Yeah. Is there another question? Or is there a question? I see people have their hands raised. Maybe it's a mistake or not.
We can go down a little bit. Maybe there are some questions in the chat box.
Yes.
Dans la boîte de dialogue.
Veronique, do you have a question?
Yes.
Can you speak a bit louder, please?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
One is asking, when you are abusing.
Yes.
Oh, no. When you are become aware of the abuse you've been done, I would say.
Yes.
Should you just receive all of it, or should you extract it from your body?
So it's a question that what have you done with that abuse if you logged it into the body?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So it's always functioning from the question, what's required in this situation? Cool. Someone was asking that regarding.
We have a question from
Turkey. Just a quick one. So when you listen to the abuse clearing CD from Gary Douglas, it's recommended to listen 5 or 10 times loud, and after that you can listen to it in the background. So you can pull down the volume to a very low level when it's not very loud, and place like a player somewhere in your room or in the living room somewhere, because energetically the vibration is created and the energy will be there. Cool. So
yeah, Iram has a question.
Yeah, we have a question from Turkey.
Yeah.
So she is asking, my family lived with my grandmother for 8 years, and my grandmother is very old, and they left where they lived to take care of her. And my grandmother demanded, and I am with them together, and we are together 9, like all the time. And we all feel so constricted, her demands, her wishes, her asks, and we couldn't even be alone with ourselves. We always need to be like serve her, and she is old. Because of that, we don't want to hurt her. We like always try to do whatever she wants, and I felt abused, and I just can relieve when I down my barriers and like expand. So my grandmother also constricted when she is acting like that. How could you guys can be contribution to this woman and also the grandmother?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a very hard situation when you do this, you know. I kind of have to do this.
We just wait a moment for her to translate this. Done? Cool. So one of the things is there is a traditional expectation how you need to treat the elder people in your family. There is this expectation that if someone is older, you have to behave very nicely.
And you have to look after her or him.
And the first question is what creates more for you and for everyone?
Yeah. So asking questions, what else is possible in this situation?
So there is no such thing like giving you an answer that, okay, do this, okay, do that. One is the thing that really creates more is being in the question, because each situation is unique and each situation has a very unique way to change it. And so what you can really do is tap into the energy of the situation and ask the question, what else is possible here? And always the possibilities will start to show up that create the change. Like if you follow that energy, it will create the change.
Which is much greater for everyone. The change is not going down and it's not bad. It's always expanded.
Yeah, so there is a wording like people are afraid of change.
Because they think it can be good or bad.
Yeah. But actually what happens when something becomes worse, it's not change, but it's bastardizing the possibilities. If something becomes better, that's the change. So when you have change in your life, the combinations of possibilities that are showing up from a greater space, from an expanded space. So that is change.
For example, we have a example. We had a neighbor to a couple, and they were very noisy. They had lots of party, really, during the nights as well. Sometimes they started the party at 3 a.m. and they smoked as well, weed. And yeah, we just didn't like this. And okay, universe, we really like living here. So what else is possible? Please show us all the possibilities here.
Like we had no idea what can we do, because on a daily basis, they were
were really nice and kind, actually.
When they were drunk, they were abusive.
Yeah, very aggressive and
aggressive. Yeah. Like animals.
Yeah, so we asked the questions, okay, universe, what else is possible here? And what happened? A month later or 3 weeks later, they started to move out. And we asked them, okay, what's happening here? And they said, oh yeah, we are moving out because they were renting this house. They could buy a house somewhere else.
So their financial situation changed, they said, And now we can buy a house and move where we want to live.
So everyone was happy. We were happy, and we were asking quiet neighbors, and we got it since then.
They were happy because they were able to buy their own property where they can live, and they moved away from here.
So here are the possibilities. You have never thought about it.
Yeah, we had no idea what they want. We had no idea what would be better for all of us.
This is the good thing. You don't know. You don't have to know how.
You don't have to know cognitively what to do how.
Yeah, the possibilities are coming if you are in the question.
Yeah.
Because at the moment you have a limited thinking. You can think about maybe at least 5 or maybe 6 possibilities. But what if there are thousands, millions, infinite possibilities?
So this is why functioning from a question is really, really powerful, because it allows you and it allows the situation to change. Cool.
Rocco,
yeah.
Can I ask another question for Serpil?
Yes.
She wants to know, I will say it in German first.
Okay.
No, I say it in English first. So if you're listening to the call of Gary and she will fall asleep, is that okay, or what will happen?
It's okay.
Es ist okay.
Yeah.
As okay. It's okay, yeah.
Es ist okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
So
I'm just wondering if there is.
Okay.
Cool. So there are a couple of things. So we will send out the recording of this to everyone who registered.
With the informations, we can put there the link where you can purchase this abuse clearing call for Gary. And we can put the dates as well for these 2 abuse class if you would like to choose.
And everyone can watch after this recording in English, and also everyone will receive the audio recording of the translated languages.
And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. You can contact us, or you can contact
the translators,
the wonderful, beautiful translators.
So we would like to say a big thanks and send our great hugs to all the translators for their amazing work.
Yeah, online hug.
Online hug. So what I can do, I can hug her.
Yeah, that's for you.
Yeah, so it's for all of you.
Thank you.
And
Thank
for
you
all
so
the
much.
people who are asking the questions. And,
thank you. You're wonderful.
And for everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was great. Thank you.
Because
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And wish you a good evening, a beautiful night, and
see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye. Bye.